Broken fudging Britain. Please tell me how I've just gone to Aldi to get this small amount of shopping.
How far does minimum wage actually go these days? The average rent in the UK is £1,000 a month, meaning you'll only have to work 81.9 hours for shelter.
Even though we are living through the period of the cost of living, has actually made us realise huge money decisions.
Cost of living. So when I was in London, my bills and everything were extortionate, and compared to Melbourne, I definitely find it way cheaper.
I know that growing up today can be tough.
I truly believe that in 2025, the average UK salary should be a reflection of the average UK cost of living.
Just felt for a bit fizzy. I bought this Coca-Cola in M&S. Guess how much it was? I'll wait. I'm not waiting. It was £3.
Alright, let's talk about something that every single person in the UK is feeling right now. The cost of living. Prices are skyrocketing, wages aren't keeping up, and it feels like just existing is getting more expensive by the week. From your weekly food shop to your energy bills, rent, and even just grabbing a coffee. It's like the UK has turned survival into a luxury. And honestly, people are exhausted. It's not just numbers on a government chart, it's real lives being squeezed. Families cutting back on heating, young people giving up on the dream of owning a home, and workers doing extra hours just to make ends meet, all while corporations keep reporting record profits. In this video, we're breaking down what's really driving the UK's cost of living crisis. Why are groceries going up faster than wages? Why are rents eating up half of people's income? And most importantly, what does it mean for ordinary people trying to live a decent life in Britain today? Stick around, because this isn't just an economic story. It's a story about survival, frustration, and the future of the UK itself.
How far does minimum wage actually go these days? The average rent in the UK is £1,000 a month, meaning you'll only have to work 81.9 hours for shelter. The average utility bill in the UK is £260 a month, meaning it'll only cost you 21.2 hours. The average council tax band A is £120 a month, meaning it'll only cost you 9.8 hours. The average weekly food shop in the UK is £100, meaning it's £400 a month, which will only cost you 32.7 hours. Now we can all agree that these are all just basic necessities. But if somebody's working 40 hours a week, every single week on minimum wage, these basic necessities will cost them 3.6 weeks worth of their wages per month. And you wonder why the economy is not growing.
What are you saying, guys? I'm just in Waitrose. Now, in UK, I don't shop at Waitrose. Why? It's too expensive. But I keep telling you people, Dubai is actually cheaper than the UK. And nobody believes me. Yes, if you live like a baller in Dubai, same as you live like a baller in UK, it's going to be expensive. But for everyday man living, Dubai is a lot cheaper. I've got an example for you. Right, see this here? Bottle of 7-Up free. Yeah, in UK, this is costing me a fair bit. You do the conversion, this bottle of 7-Up, this big ass bottle of 7-Up is a quid. A quid. And I'm in Waitrose. I'm not even in some discount pound shop or stuff like that. I'm in Waitrose and I've got a big ass bottle of 7-Up for a quid. This is what I've been telling you people. UK, we're getting scammed, trust me.
Guys, everyone wants to talk about cost of living crisis. I just bought this Coca-Cola because I just felt for a bit fizzy. I bought this Coca-Cola in M&S. Guess how much it was? I'll wait. I'm not waiting. It was £3. This costs £3. And it was too late before I realised I had to tap. I felt peer pressured to tap. He said card or cash, and I said card. £3. Do you know when you just feel like an idiot? Like, I just feel like I've just been taking the piss out of, like, he knows that he just played me, that man. I was supposed to just get petrol. My petrol was £20. And then I see £23. Oh, guys. It's not even a joke anymore. I don't think any of us are going to make it out alive from this crisis that's going on right now. Even the rich motherfuckers. I think y'all going to struggle soon.
Broken fudging Britain. Please tell me how I've just gone to Aldi to get this small amount of shopping. Not even a full bag, not even half a bag, and it's cost me £20. I mean, can't even make a meal out of this. All I got was some eggs, a couple of bananas, some Snickers bar, a cucumber, and some smoothies. Light snacks for the next day or two, and it cost me £20. This is why I'm leaving the UK. That's the bag, that's all I've got. Some eggs, small eggs as well, bananas, and a couple of smoothies. £20. Absolutely disgraceful.
I truly believe that in 2025, the average UK salary should be a reflection of the average UK cost of living. At the moment, there is a huge disparity between both. And it's like, to what end? This is why people are working 2 jobs. This is why people are working overtime. This is why people have no life. They're depressed. They're lonely. We need to start protesting against these things and saying, look, I am not going to work until I'm able to get enough money on an average salary with an average experience and knowledge and certifications to be able to take care of myself and my family.
So how do you think things are going in Britain at the moment, James?
Well, I think mainly everyone's food bill's gone up by about 50%. Everyone's gas bill's gone up by about 300%. Everyone's electric bill's gone up. Everyone's council tax bill has gone up. Everyone's mortgage has gone up. Everyone's water bill has gone up. Buses don't turn up. Trains don't turn up. The police don't turn up. That's particularly annoying when you've been stabbed due to soaring crime. Doctors' surgeries don't answer the phone. Dentist surgeries don't answer the phone. There's sewage in the drinking water. School buildings are crumbling. Hospital buildings are crumbling. Police station buildings are crumbling. There seems to be holes in every street. There seems to be boarded up shops in every street. There seems to be empty shelves in every supermarket. No one's got enough money to live on. Wages aren't keeping up with inflation. And half the population are depressed to the point of suicide. But apart from all that, I think it's going really well, Laura.
Because I hope everyone is doing well. This is going to be a little UK ranting video from somebody who has lived in Melbourne, in Australia for the last 8 months and is back in the UK for a month. So, first thing I want to say is the level of rubbish and shit all over the roads is disgusting. Number 2 is obviously going to be the weather. So, it rains about 8 months of the year. But when it is sunny, like today, you fucking sweat just breathing. Number 3, the cost of living. So when I was in London, my bills and everything were extortionate, and compared to Melbourne, I definitely found it way cheaper. Now, I went out the other night, and this kind of brought it all back home again. Went out the other night for a nice meal and some drinks with my missus, took her on a date night, had a great time. £400 for one night. That cost.
Cost of living 2025 payments have now been confirmed. Yes, you've heard me right, they've just been confirmed. Multiple sources have confirmed this, and this is the payments we're looking to get following from May to October. 3 payments altogether. So the sources are saying we are expecting one spring payment, a one-off payment of £301 for spring 2025. Then a summer top-up, so that's a payment of £200. And then an autumn payment, a final payment, will bring the total cost of living support to around £500 to £600 for the year. Are these cost of payments real, or is it the household support fund? All we can do is wait and see. But as I said, multiple sources have confirmed these, but it's not come straight from the government yet. So until it comes from the government, I'm not too sure. But let's wait and see, and hopefully we will get these payments again, as the cost of living is still here. It hasn't gone anywhere.
Does anyone else remember Keir Starmer in 2023 saying that he was going to bring down the cost of living? He was going to sort it out because inflation is just about to go up to 3.8%. And I'm saying this as I've just come back from the shop and I just saw a packet of digestive biscuits for £4. Like, can you believe that? And that's the price, that's the current price. So I dread to think what they're going to cost when inflation does go up to 3.8%. I don't know how quickly it takes to go up or whatever. But I'm telling you, the people in our government that run this country, they're sick. Like, they're sick, they're psychopaths. And they don't even try and hide their delight at the rest of us, like, struggling to survive. They sicken me. They absolutely sicken me. And I think this country is about to erupt. I think it's about to kick off. I think people are going to get so sick and so tired of working their backsides off to not be able to afford anything anymore. And I welcome it. I welcome the uprising. Fuck it. I'm done. I don't want to work anymore. I'm sick of it.
People in the UK are now stealing meat from supermarkets and reselling it to pay their bills. This video has recently surfaced online, and check this out, because this man has gone into the co-op, taken loads of legs of lamb, steaks and stuff, and then is reselling it down these back alley. Now, I've never seen anything quite like this. As you can see, he's got eggs, he's got bread, he's got loads of different flanks of meat. It looks like there might be some sausages and stuff in there. Now, I have never seen anything like this. Apparently, people are saying that this is due to the cost of living crisis. This man has obviously been going around taking stuff from co-ops and other places and then just selling it on to people for like half the price. And obviously meat is pretty expensive now. In the last year alone, some meat such as the finest range has gone up by 50% some places. Now, I want to see what you guys think about this. Is this a cost of living crisis situation, or has this been happening long before the cost of living crisis? Now, I've definitely seen this before in certain towns. This is happening up and down the country, but is it happening more frequently? We are seeing a bigger presence of security guards in supermarkets now, but interestingly, they can't actually physically get involved anymore because really they're just there as a visual deterrent to make it cheaper for the supermarket's insurance. Now, let me know what you think about this. What do you think about this? Is this a bad move? Because I think it is.
I don't normally talk about cost of living, but today I need to rant. So it's summer holidays. Me and my husband are both teachers, so we're off with our children, which is great. Like, we're really lucky that we get to spend that time with them. And obviously we have to budget to an extent, because each time you leave your house, it is just so expensive to do anything. Today we had to go and pick up my in-laws' dog. We are looking after their dog for a couple of days, and near there is a lovely little cafe at a farm shop. So we thought, you know what, let's go and get the dog and let's just go for a little cake, cup of tea or whatever. We met some friends there in the end because they were free, and it was really nice, having a good time. We ordered, blah, blah, blah. And then when we went to pay, it was, daughter had a slice of cake, my son had a chocolate brownie, my husband had some other little cake. I had a tea, he had a coffee, they had hot chocolates. So 4 drinks, 3 cakes, £37.50. I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, what? And then we decided to go for a walk with the dog and our friends, and it was really, really nice. Obviously, it was a bit rainy today, but it was quite warm. And we did this really long, nice walk, and there was a pub right at the end. So our friend was like, oh, you know what? Let's just go and have a quick drink before we say bye-bye. And we were like, yeah, summer holidays, whatever. We should have learned our lesson from this £37.50 in the cafe. So we go to the pub and we get drink each. We didn't even get drinks for the children. We said, no, you can have your water bottles. And they had a packet of crisps each. So 2 packets of crisps and 2 drinks, £17. So all in all, we've spent like over £50 just for leaving the house, just a cafe and a pub. And it wasn't even, it was cake, it was treat stuff. And now I just feel like that's their treat for the summer. I feel like that's it. That cake and that packet of crisps, I am done. I'm done basically leaving my house because it's just so crazy out there. I just cannot believe how quickly that money disappeared. It was just a rant. I just had to rant today.
I know that growing up today can be tough. By the way, just bear with me on this video. Wait till the end. We're investing in new clubs, music, sport, real-world opportunities to help young people build confidence and find their spark. He's tweeting again, people. And the hypocrisy of this is outrageous. Because in March 2025, there were 4.5 million children living in poverty in the UK, which is 31% of all children, a rise of 100,000 from the previous year. Then they categorise it where the most poverty is. I don't know why they need to do that, by the way, because this is the biggie. 31% of children. That is outrageous. And the UK has seen an increase in child poverty due to the rising cost of living, with 3.1 million children in deep poverty. For me, this isn't spoken about enough. And this is a reason why people are not having kids anymore. That's why you're getting your declining birth rates, because it is so expensive to live. Food, energy bills, even getting on the property ladder, even trying to find a house to rent. Landlords slapping rent prices up. And it's just people can't do it. I don't understand how people who are single can do it. Never mind having a dual income. And this pushes it onto the children. Can't afford clothes, can't afford food properly, can't afford to take them on days out. That leads to like bullying, that leads to other things. It's more and more difficult. Then they cry about it, the government. They need to have more children. They obviously don't see the real world. That is how disconnected they are from the real world. You don't live in ivory towers. You don't have banquets and 4 or 5 houses. We go to work. We do 40, 50, 60 hours a week to try and make ends meet. But with your ridiculous policies, forever increasing taxes, high energy bills, so on and so on, you are just literally suppressing people. And it's making it tougher and harder. Obviously, they put outrageous things out like that. We want to give people the best start in life. Absolute load of nonsense. We want to help people. Stop raising taxes and reward the hard-working people of this country. Stop putting children into poverty.
What are your guys' thoughts on life in the UK today, 2025? So I actually grew up in the UK myself, lived here for about 30 years. I think two of the major benefits, right, in my opinion, are education, especially in Scotland, which is where I stay, right? It's completely free, you know, even university is free, and NHS, right, National Health Service. Having said that, however, I do think both of them are gradually going down. Education, there used to be free extracurricular activities, which now they've cut. NHS, you know, used to be able to get appointments faster and easier. Now you kind of have to call within like a 5-minute window, right, for the GP. If you don't call within that 5-minute window, you don't really get an appointment, because that's what happened to me for the last 3 days, right? 3 days in a row, right? You can only call between 8:30 and 9, right? The lines don't open until 8:30. The moment you call after 8:35, you don't get an appointment, and you're told 3 days in a row that you're not going to get an appointment. That, to me, right, is one of the... There's more reasons than that, but that to me is quite a big reason why a lot of wealthy people, millionaires, are leaving, right? Because when you are investing, when you are paying so much in tax, right, you should get some kind of value back in return. But when you're paying more for less value, it just doesn't make sense. And there's many other reasons, you know, taxes are getting higher, small businesses are more difficult to do, to run and make profit. Right, your alternative, right, if you don't get an NHS GP appointment, your alternative is just to pop into a pharmacy, right? I'm not even joking, right? The UK pharmacists, if you go in, let's say you've got a fever, all they can tell you is, take some paracetamol, pal, take some ibuprofen, pal, you'll be fine, right? That's literally pretty much it. That's all you get, right? If you have some kind of skin rash, whatever it is, oh, hydrocortisone, take some hydrocortisone, here, rub this, no more than 1 week, okay, bye, see ya. Guys, share your thoughts, right? What are your thoughts, right? Not being any racist or anything, right? Just completely sharing facts here. The culture, right, and the people, in comparison, they're not nasty, but in comparison to, say, Thai people or Spanish people, etc., right, they're just not as nice, right? They're more negative and they complain quite a lot. Food, right?
Now, morning, folks. How you doing? Excuse me a moment. Had a lovely sleep again, and this is my morning routine. I've got myself a bowl of a mango, blueberry and grape in there, and I've got some dates in there. Try not to have too many of those. Whew. Well, I should be going to the toilet often, but they are very good for you, very good for your heart. And that's just a nutty seeded cereal bar, and my spoon, foldable spoons. Anyway, I'm charging the phone up at the moment. Just thought I'd come on air. So, what are you up to today, folks? Friday, almost weekend, and I believe it's a bank holiday in the UK. I just forgot. I forgot. It's the final one this year. I might be going down to Wales. I've got a job to do. I've got a busy Friday. Always have a busy Friday from 4 o'clock onwards till about 8. With the one job I do. But if I can get the one job done and finish about 9:30 tonight, then just bed down, then I could do one job in the morning, and then that's me done till next Friday, actually, because I've booked some time off next week. Pardon me, so I might pop down to Wales. Anyway, happy Friday.
Even though we are living through the period of the cost of living, has actually made us realise huge money decisions that we were doing in our lives that were really toxic. Remember that rule where they said, oh, don't go to the shops if you're hungry? Pick up Doritos. Oh, jammy Dodgers. Chocolate digestives. Oh, I'd love a Lucozade. Listen, you'll pick up a whole bunch of things because you're hungry. But really, you just need a sandwich and a packet of crisps, you know, sort you out. But because of the cost of living, you don't do that stuff no more. Anything you put inside your little trolley or in your basket, what is it for? I'm putting cheese because I'm using the cheese. I'm going to make a sandwich. I'm going to grate it for the spaghetti bolognese. If there is some left over, I'm going to make cauliflower cheese pasta. You understand? Like just that block of cheese, already calculated how you're going to use it. Nowadays, you can't go to the shops and do that whole, oh, I'm hungry, let me pick up a bunch of things. No, because you're just calculating, like you don't want to go to the checkout and you put certain things back because, you know, you're a regular in the shop. You're a regular in the shop and they know your faces, and all the staff members, they say hello to you when they're stacking the shelves. You don't want to be known as the regular that puts things away when they get to the checkout. Basically, just means you ain't got no money. Before you were just tapping your bank card, tap, tap, tappity, tap, tap, tap. Now, no, I don't know about you, but I'm regularly checking my bank account. How much have I got before I step out of this house? Next thing, right, yeah, it's mortgage prices. Everyone wants to own a house. You're going to do anything with your life. You buy a house, you can boast. Anyone who's bought a house here, they're like, oh yeah, I bought a house. Yeah, technically mortgage, you ain't paying anything off yet, but it's something to boast about out here on the streets. Yeah, we bought a house. Yeah, we live in Richmond. Because of the cost of living, a lot of people have realised, you know what, if I'm going to get my money's worth, right, yeah, it's to buy a house that looks like, you know those houses that you see on the Homes Under the Hammer? Borderline looking haunted houses. They look a total state, yeah, and then they like do it up and you're like, rah. You're sitting on a 3-seater sofa and you're thinking you're not even being productive. People realise, you know what, those houses are much more cheaper. And also people realise you don't need to live in London. People who live in London are moving out of London just to like buy a house. Yeah, I love London. Don't get it twisted. I do. Person who lives in London, I'm realising that actually you can be very, very, very much happy outside of London. I'm watching all these like escape to the country, people who lived in the city and then they're moving to like small towns in the countryside and the houses over there, they look lovely. I need to take me and my family, we need to go and move over there. Cost of living has made us realise if we're going to get our money's worth, you don't need to live like in the trending town. Don't live in a crime infested area, but like, you know, there are lovely areas that you can live in that are much more cheaper for you to buy a house. Another toxic money habit we had prior to the cost of living, branded food. We all thought buying branded food was the thing. Realised afterwards, a lot of like store branded food are actually really nice. Magnum ice cream. I don't buy Magnum ice cream. Store branded ones, perfectly fine. Why are we stretching to a £5 just for ice cream on a stick that's only got 3 inside a packet? 3 as well. The audacity. Charging over £4 for 3 things.
Rents are sucking the lifeblood out of the lives of many people in the UK. Rental property is largely occupied by young people and people on low income in the UK. And of course, in very many cases, those two groups overlap. And as a consequence, a great many children in the UK also live in rental properties. And the cost of that property is rising. New data from the Office for National Statistics shows that on average in England, the cost of rental property in proportion to people's gross incomes rose by 3% in the year 2023-24, which is the most recent for which we have data. In London, the cost is now in excess of 40% of the gross income of people who are renting their properties. In England as a whole, it's now reached 36%. In the southwest of England, the data shows that the cost is now in excess of 30% of gross incomes of those who are paying rents. And that is, of course, because of the challenge from holiday lettings. We are in a crisis situation. Now, the story is not grim everywhere. In Wales, the average cost of renting is only 26% of gross income, which is still staggering. In Northern Ireland, it's 25%. And in the northeast, the northwest and the East Midlands, the cost of renting is declining, in particular in the northeast, where it's fallen to only 20% of gross incomes, a substantial drop during the course of this period. But that's an indication of many of the economic problems that are going on there. But the point in general is quite simple. Landlords are taking a disproportionate amount of the income of younger and poorer people who are living in rental property. Those people are not working for the sake of putting food on the table. They're not working for the sake of having a good life. They're working to pay their landlords. We should have got beyond this point now. It's wrong that we're paying for land time and time and time again, and yet we are. It's wrong that people are being denied a chance to live on median earnings because so much of what they earn is being extracted from them by landlords who are charging excess prices. And remember, even social rents are defined in relation to these excessive prices and therefore are unaffordable for many. We can't live forever in a society where rents are literally dragging people into real poverty after tax and after paying for the essentials of living, where they cannot work out how to make ends meet. It's unsurprising we have millions of children in poverty in this country as a consequence. You can blame the fault entirely at the door of the excess prices of rental properties. Unless our government gets a grip on this issue, and it can only get a grip on this issue by either imposing rent caps or by increasing the number of government-owned properties, whether that be government or housing association or local authority, I'm not too worried about, but under government control, unless more of those properties are made available at genuine social rents, there is no chance of this changing. We are living in a society that appears to exist solely to extract wealth from the poor to benefit the rich. And that is not sustainable. Unless we change this, the way we live cannot survive. And that is a profoundly worrying prospect.
So here we are, the end of the video, and honestly, after going through everything, the food prices, the rents, the bills, the wages that don't move an inch, you can't help but feel like Britain has turned survival into a premium subscription service. And the worst part, you don't even get free shipping with it. Let's break this down one last time. In the UK right now, a weekly food shop that once cost £40 is now pushing £70 or £80. Energy bills? Through the roof. Rent? Forget about it. Half your paycheck vanishes before you've even touched it. And don't even get me started on transport costs. It's almost comedic. You pay through the nose to sit in a freezing train that's delayed half the time. It's like being robbed, but politely. Now here's the bit that really burns. Wages haven't kept up. Sure, the government will pat themselves on the back and say, oh look, wages technically went up by 3%. Great. Fantastic. Meanwhile, inflation jumped by 8%. So congratulations, you got a pay rise that actually makes you poorer. It's the kind of maths only politicians could brag about, and then they'll stand there in Parliament and tell you everything's fine. The economy is stabilising, they say. Stabilising for who? Certainly not for the family cutting back on heating, because the gas bill looks like a mortgage payment. Not for the single mum who's skipping meals so her kids can eat. And definitely not for the young people who've completely given up on the idea of owning a home, because at this point, they'd need to win the lottery twice just to afford a deposit. Here's the reality. The cost of living crisis isn't just numbers on a chart. It's people's lives. It's you deciding whether you can afford to run the washing machine today. It's you checking the price of milk and bread like you're buying luxury goods. It's you saying no to nights out, holidays, even starting a family, because the money just isn't there. And yet, while all of us are doing this balancing act, big corporations are posting record profits. The energy companies are rolling in billions. Supermarkets are squeezing suppliers but charging us more. Landlords are hiking rents just because they can. And the government, they love to blame everything but themselves. Oh, it's global inflation. Oh, it's the war in Ukraine. Oh, it's international supply chains. Yes, sure, those things matter. But let's not pretend UK policy hasn't played a huge role in making this worse. Decades of underinvestment, broken housing policy, privatised energy, stagnant wages. This didn't come out of nowhere. This was built, brick by bad decisions, by leaders who only ever cared about keeping their wealthy donors happy. And let's not ignore the hypocrisy. When ordinary people ask for help, we're told the government can't afford it. There's no magic money tree, they say. But when banks crash, suddenly billions appear overnight. When MPs need pay rises, no problem. When defence budgets need boosting, absolutely, here's a blank cheque. But ask for affordable rent or cheaper energy bills, and suddenly the nation's broke. Funny that. Now, I know some people watching this will say, well, that's just the way it is. Life's tough. Stop complaining. But let's call it what it is. Nonsense. This isn't about people wanting luxury cars or 5-star holidays. This is about basics. Heat, shelter, food, things that should never feel out of reach for people who work hard every day. If the 6th largest economy in the world can't provide that, then what's the point? What's the point of all the talk about growth, stability and recovery if the average person is still choosing between heating and eating? And here's the thing, the longer this crisis goes on, the deeper the damage it leaves behind. It's not just about this winter or the next bill. It's about generations. Young people can't afford homes, so they're stuck renting forever. Families are delaying having kids because the money isn't there. People are cutting corners on food, on health, on essentials. And that creates long-term problems society will pay for later. A country where people are just scraping by isn't a country that thrives. It's a country that slowly suffocates. And if you think that sounds dramatic, just look around. Food banks in the UK are busier than ever before. Let me repeat that. In one of the richest countries in the world, food banks are basically a permanent institution now. People are relying on charity to survive, while billionaires add zeros to their bank accounts. How is that normal? How is that acceptable? So yeah, thanks for sticking with me through this rant. If you're living this reality, drop your story in the comments. Let people know what you've cut back on, what you're struggling with, because the more we share, the harder it is for them to ignore. Because at the end of the day, silence is what keeps this crisis alive. And I don't know about you, but I'm not staying silent